Now I've got a map, I'm in business. Hi!
On the count of 3.
It's a Mexican standoff.
1, 2, 3.
Brian, I'm going off to Indonesia soon to learn Indonesian. Should I be learning Malaysian, really?
No.
That's not very patriotic.
No, because it's, well, the thing is, Indonesian is a bit different from Malaysian. The spoken forms are quite different. And you could be confusing yourself and the people that you are talking with.
Thank you all so very much. It's been a pleasure.
It's Polyglot Dawn here in Thessaloniki, the beginning of the first day of the conference. Right, I'm sort of registering. This is my bag, looks very fine, and this is my certificate of attendance, so that proves it's all very official, so that can't be bad, can it? Thank you very much. This is the fun bit now, getting some language stickers for my badge.
Obviously, there's going to be many conversations happening in multiple languages for the next 2 days, and we wanted to represent that visually.
It's absolutely wonderful to see so many of you here. We're obviously going to do a bit of a spin. This is the largest ever polyglot event in Europe.
What does a leaky tap have in common with bilingualism?
I think it must be couldn't really just have a
Talk about age and language acquisition. It's a very big subject. I want to look at the critical period hypothesis.
And your accent sounds like a Spaniard.
You're looking at this book now, right? You're kind of curious about it, you want to look inside. You're not studying Marathi. That has nothing to do with your life right now. But anyway, that was a decoy.
I hope that no animals were harmed in the making of that microphone.
Welsh, Cantonese, Shahanese, etc. Do not allow it to fall asleep. If your language falls asleep, stop, revive, survive.
Free language courses.
Take a big just one.
Shemai, Oli ydw i. Dwi'n hoffi siarad Cymraeg achos mae'n ffantastig.
So what's Amikumu then?
Yes. So Amikumu is an app we're developing, so you could find speakers of any language near you. So you could look, for example, for the 25 closest Basque speakers. So no matter where you are in the world, you can find the language practice partners for any of the 7,000 languages around the world.
So it's kind of like a dating app, really?
Some people are calling it 10 different languages, exactly. But it's not, no dating, no dating.
Okay, thanks a lot, good luck.
You're welcome,
Cheers.
thank you.
Well, hello Richard Simcod, sut mae'n mynd?
Da iawn, diolch yn fawr.
Lot o bobl gwahanol wedi dod?
Lot o bobl. Mae gynnon ni 400 o bobl yma yn Thessaloniki. Mae'n gret, mae'n gwych yn gwrando, yn siarad efo pobl yn ieithoedd yma.
Yassas. Buon pomeriggio. Sono molto felice di essere qui con voi per il meraviglioso Polyglot Conference.
So yeah, it's a pleasure for me to introduce Lucchino Lamparellino on the stage. Enjoy. Thanks.
If you remember anything from this presentation, remember that you've got a limited working memory. Then you've got to speed up, practice, repeat.
Nassos, how have you found it today?
It's been a really great day, a lot of really interesting talks, but the best thing for me has just been meeting other people who are passionate about languages and connecting with them.
But yeah, lots of great talks today. I attended one about Dutch for German speakers, and it highlighted the differences, and it was really interesting to see the sentence structure side by side.
Well, I was really interested in the last talk, which was about how memory works in learning languages, and particularly when you're getting older.
So I went to a couple of talks that were really, really interesting, like Ilan Superman, who talked about the endangered languages in Australia, and also Ethne Gallagher about how to run a multilingual school, and the last one, Dr. Abadzi, who talked about how you learn languages. It was very, very interesting talks.
Some synchronated eating. Good night. And it's Sunday, the second day of the conference.
Because languages are like sex, right?
Well, what have you learned at the conference so far?
I've learned Greece is a wonderful place to do these kinds of events. We have amazing scenery, we've had a really amazing team of support, very enthusiastic volunteers and everything. It's just been a real pleasure to do it here, and I'd love to do it in Greece again. But unfortunately, we do have a policy of moving every year, so next year we're all going to start getting excited about where that's going to be.
Sorry, I forgot to mention I was going to do the talk. Just kidding.
Okay, so far I've been speaking Serbian mostly, believe it or not, because there are many people who spoke Serbian here. Then I spoke Greek, I practiced my Greek. J'ai pratiqué mon français, spécialement le québécois. Donc un poquito de español también. Es todo.
It's my first time and I love it so far. It's lovely to meet all these different people, some professionals, some just language learners.
In the Netherlands it's usually male. I speak a cup coffee. It can also be neuter as a kopje koffie, and in Belgium it's usually feminine as a tas koffie.
Now it's going to be the group photo.
Okay, you're all here.
Look at this sweetness. Gary, ti'n siarad Cymraeg?
Tipyn bach.
O ble ti'n dod?
Yn Alban.
Or Alban? Well, which languages have you been speaking most then this time?
Mostly Dutch and German.
Any Greek?
A little bit with the taxi driver.
I have been using English, Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, French, and Catalan that I use the most.
These are the Korean speakers. This is the gathering of the Slavs. Have you learned anything new at this conference?
Yes, I have. I went to Anthony Lauder's lecture. It was wonderful. It was about language and how we acquire our native-like pronunciation and how it has to do something with the fight-or-flight reflex. So those are interesting.
You're one of the few speakers of Georgian here. Have you found any others?
Yes, I've met one other, a half Georgian, half Greek young man at this conference, and we spoke Georgian for several minutes.
Do not defer your dreams. If you have something that you really want to do, don't say, I'm going to do it someday. Just get started today. Why should we always forget that we're mortal? I mean, the roof could fall in an earthquake right now. Okay, it didn't, but we all have to walk home, and there are axe murderers out there. You could run into an axe murderer. And
you know that learning Latin, Greek, Egyptian, or other languages like that is a privileged access to the history of these very periods, or your own.
It's important. Like us polyglots, we tend to be like, talking heads, but we're actually humans.
So it's mouth, mind, body and soul.
Yes, exactly, and not just head.
No, not here. Everything else except Gaelic.
So which language have you been speaking most?
Greek.
Interestingly enough, my favorite talk was the giraffe language talk, talking about non-violent communication versus violent communication.
And did you learn anything particular in that?
I learned that all the I feel statements that people teach you in grade school don't always work because they can still be selfish.
I believe there are really many possible ways how to achieve the goal. And there is not one single perfect method, and many polyglots, even at the conference, at the gathering, repeat that again and again. There is not one single method that will work for everyone, so you need to figure out your own way.
German, Russian, Spanish. One guy even managed to pull some Turkish out of me, so that's pretty good. An impressive feat because I've been only doing it for 4 weeks.
There's only one thing left, and that's to find out the location of the next Polyglot Conference.
Reykjavik, Iceland!
So, Reykjavik, do you think you'll be able to make it?
Yeah, definitely. I think should definitely be able to make it. I love Reykjavik and I love languages, so yeah, it should be fun.
Have you been to Iceland before?
I haven't. I want to go though, and I'm sure I'm gonna attend next year.
Definitely, yes. I've never been there. I heard actually from different friends already that it's a really nice location. And yeah.
Qu'est-ce que tu penses à Reykjavik?
Je pense que ça va être super beau là-bas et c'est un bon prétexte pour aller visiter le pays. Ça va être excitant.
So last year I went to New York. That was my first experience in Polyglot Conference, and then that's where I got the idea of adding Korean and Esperanto to the languages. And hopefully by the time I go to Iceland, then I'll have a few more. Yes.
J'ai surtout parlé l'allemand, le grec et l'anglais, et un peu l'espagnol.
Et tu vas aller à Reykjavik?
Certainement.
Tu vas apprendre l'islandais ou en avance?
Je ne sais pas encore. Sans doute un peu.
That's my first conference, so I enjoyed the possibility for networking with other polyglots and speakers of other languages.
The venue was just fantastic. We have the sea, we had fantastic Greek food for lunch, and loads and loads of lovely people as usual. It was just great. Thank you very much.